right. Brian Wilson just passed away. And Brian Wilson is someone who had a huge impact on my life, particularly when I was growing up. And I just want to talk a little bit about the cultural impact and the contribution that Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys made on the United States and really globally as well. I mean, the Beach Boys represent more than just rock and roll, more than just music, more than just songwriting. I mean, the Beach Boys represented a new wave of California culture, and they shared that with the world. And as someone who grew up in New Jersey, who always spent my summers at the Jersey Shore, who loves surfing, who loves the ocean, who loves being outside, and everything that summer represents, I mean, the Beach Boys were really the soundtrack of my life and of a lot of people's lives, not only in California, but in New Jersey, along the East Coast, and really around the world. Because when you hear a Beach Boys song, it brings you to a very specific time and place. It brings you and it takes you to those feelings of summertime and being outside and um, just what it means to be a youth and a teenager in America. And I mean, what besides that, I mean, really, what Brian Wilson is, and it's been said many times before. I mean, he is a musical genius. You take a listen to God Only Knows, and those harmonies. I mean, those harmonies are direct from God Himself. Let's be real. Let's be honest here. Wouldn't it be nice? The whole Pet Sounds album was not very uh, really well received publicly at the time, but those songs are masterpieces. Every song is a masterpiece. And he wrote that album when he was only 24 years old. Unbelievable the amount of talent and the amount of impact that Brian Wilson had. So as he passed away just recently, it brought me back to my childhood. And the first album that I ever purchased was Beach Boys Still Cruising. And I know Brian Wilson wasn't a huge part of that album. It was more Mike Love. I think Carl Wilson um, and Al Jardine were more a part of that album. But Brian Wilson, I think, did contribute to some of the songs, Somewhere Near Japan and Kokomo, I believe. But that was my first album. I mean, my dad was a surfer and he got me into surfing and he loved the Beach Boys and he got me into the Beach Boys. And it's just such a big part of my life. And every time I hear a Beach Boys song, it takes me to summertime. It takes me to the Jersey Shore. It takes me to surfing and being on the beach and being with your friends outside and fishing and boating and which is really the some of the biggest parts of my life. And I mean, how can you really thank someone who has now passed for being a part of your life, for influencing your memories and influencing how you see the world? And that's the great thing about art that Brian contributed to is just, man, it's just those songs. I mean, they're a part of who we are, really. They're a part of the cultural phenomenon that is the United States of America that has been showcased all around the world. And Brian had a troubled life in many respects, as a lot of the news reports are speaking about at this time. I mean, you know, his relationship with his father was not very good. Apparently, he was deaf in one ear because his father hit him really hard in the ear when he was a child, and that influenced had a detriment really on his creative vision and his musical prowess. But despite that, the harmonies that he put together were some of the best of all time. And as someone who's really just influenced and really loves art as a medium, I mean, I'm not a songwriter, I'm not a musician, but I'm a writer, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a director, I'm an actor. And to me, it's all the same, really. It's really you're tapping into something that is very unique to you, but it is universal at the same time. And Brian did that so spectacularly because uh, good vibrations. I mean, you know, that song is just it touches you on a deeper level and it brings you to a very specific time and place of being outside and pretty girls and the summertime and summer love and man, there's so many songs that he contributed to and what he did really for me and the impact that he had on my life is just remarkable. And when I was in California and Los Angeles the last time, I made a point to stop at his childhood home, or the landmark that is now his childhood home. And it just, I wanted to pay my respects, because these these people that contribute to art, contribute to culture, and influence us in so many ways, and it's really just a part of who we are, and it's a part of the fabric of our lives, and the fabric of the culture that we live in. So what's your favorite Beach Boys song or Brian Wilson song? I mean, there's so many, and there's so many that are known, and there's so many that are kind of not as well known. I mean, everybody knows Kokomo. That was their biggest hit, I think. And that's a great song. That always brings me back to my childhood. It came out when I was a kid, and it was part of the Still Cruising album. Uh, but I think Wouldn't It Be Nice is just a masterpiece beyond masterpieces. I mean, that is such a just a beautiful song. I mean, I think that's the best way to put it. It's just such a beautiful song. Those harmonies are just miraculous. And Brian Wilson did it did all of it. I mean, he was just a musical genius. He was a prodigy that put those harmonies together that we're still listening to, that we're going to listen to for the rest of time, really. And I'd love to learn about what your favorite Brian Wilson song was. Sloop John B, In My Room, Do You Want to Dance? I mean, these songs, they're just so good, and music is just such an important part of our society and our culture, and can really just bring people together, and also influence us in very specific, very unique ways. So please tell me, what's your favorite Brian Wilson song? What's your favorite Beach Boys song? When you think of Brian Wilson, when you think of the Beach Boys, what does it bring you back to? Does it bring you back to the Jersey Shore? Does it bring you back to surfing with your friends? Does it bring you back to when you were a little kid dancing around listening to those songs with your parents? What do the Beach Boys and what does Brian Wilson mean to you? I'd love to learn more. So please tell me in the comments, and I want to hear your responses, and I would love to respond back.